everyone, and welcome to the 13th episode of Steelmint Events webinar series. The topic for today is titled ECL on Modernization Spree, Enhancing Quality with Quantity. I am Aditya Sinha, and joining me today is Mr. B. Veera Reddy, Director of Technical Operations of Eastern Coalfields Limited, the Coal India subsidiary that was formed in 1975 and inherited all the private sector coal mines of Raniganj coalfields. ECL is a Miniratna PSU under the administrative control of the Indian government's Ministry of Power. In FY20, despite adverse market conditions, we have seen the company reaching several milestones under the leadership of Sri Prem Sagar Mishra, Chairman cum Managing Director of ECL since 20th August 2018. Mr. Reddy has assumed charge as Director Technical of ECL on the 1st of January this year. Prior to this, he was serving as General Manager of Singareni Collieries Company since 1987. He worked in different capacities in the mechanized underground and open cast mines and has more than 32 years of experience in coal mining, planning, procurement, and operations. Mr. Reddy, good morning to you and welcome to our webinar.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Aditya. Good morning.
At this point, I would also like to welcome all the participants who are joining us today. And I would also like to tell you that you can send us your queries through the question and answer box, which is appearing on your screen. And do remember to introduce yourself as well as your company. So we'll do an initial round of Q&A between myself and Mr. Reddy for about half an hour. And after that, it would be time for your questions. So without any further delay, let us proceed with the first set of questions, which are related to production. So Mr. Reddy, to begin with, please give us an update regarding ECL's production plans for FY21 after the stellar performance recorded in the previous fiscal. And how is the company approaching the annual target despite adverse market conditions?
Yeah, this Eastern Coalfields Limited is mines belonging to ECL are located in two states, Jharkhand and West Bengal. There are totally 80 mines, 50 underground mines and 30 open cast mines. Last year, ECL produced about 50.01 million tons against the target of 53.5 million tons. This year target is 55.02 million tons, and we are sure that this year we will achieve the target. And ECL coal production mostly comes from open cast mines, about 80% of the coal, and the remaining coal comes from underground mines. There are 50 underground mines and 30 open cast mines. Most of the underground mines are located in Raniganj coalfields of West Bengal. Yes.
Right, sir. So my next question is, define the operational challenges involved in underground mining. The Jhajra mine has exhibited an exceptional performance yet again in FY20. Please tell us about the modernized technologies which are adopted to operate the mine efficiently.
Yeah, now in the world over, the coal production, 60% of coal production comes from underground mining. That too from longwall mining. Longwall mining is the dominant underground technology where you can produce coal on par with open cast mine with the highest safety, with minimum manpower. So in Jhanjra mine, that is the technology we are using for getting coal from mine, underground mine. That is longwall technology. Last year, Jhanjra mine produced about 3.5 million tons. That is the highest in the history of country. The one single underground mine producing 3.5 million tons. And the advantage of longwall technology is that we can extract maximum reserves and also with utmost safety and minimum manpower, and quality can be maintained, and at any depth the longwall can be adapted. So that is very good method for mass production, and we want to introduce a few more longwalls after seeing the success of Jhanjra longwall. And in addition to longwall, there are some continuous miners also, 4 continuous miners, and some other preparatory machines like road header and SDLs, LHDs in that mine. And apart from Jhanjra, we are planning to introduce continuous miners in number of mines. And presently, we have 6 continuous miners in operation in different mines, and already planned for 6 more. They are in pipeline, and they will be operationalized in next year. And some more mines are identified for even introduction of long walls and continuous miners. So this is the future plan of ECL. Yeah.
Right, sir. So the next question, land acquisition has been identified as a major hurdle which is threatening ECL's expansion plans. Can you please elaborate on the issue while also briefing the project approvals and related activities which are conducted recently?
Yeah, really that is a challenging issue for ECL because this Raniganj area, it is completely heavily populated and difficult to evacuate, lot of R&R issues and land acquisition everywhere. There are some problems, but somehow we're able to get the land and able to run the mines and achieve the targets. And particularly because of this lockdown and all for last 3 months, the all the works are pending pertaining to land, particularly forest clearance and uh, acquisition of land and all, because all government offices are closed for most of the time, and we are not able to meet them. And now gradually normalcy is being restored. Probably we will start getting some pending works done, and though there are challenges, we are able to get the land and we are able to run the mines.
So the next question is regarding the coal bed methane project, which is ongoing in Raniganj at the moment. Now, my question is that this project, the coal bed methane project, was proposed as a measure for additional revenue generation. Can you please brief us as to what extent this exploration of the new gas will contribute in boosting profitability? And if you can state the current status of the ongoing project, sir.
No, actually, this coal bed methane is the method established elsewhere other than India. And in India also, some private companies have started producing this CBM. And particularly this Raniganj coal field is suitable for coal bed methane. And about 57 square kilometers of area, coal bearing area has been identified for coal bed methane. And already this preliminary work has been done, and this feasibility report and project report is being prepared, and that will be operationalized by 2024 and 25. And more than profitability, it is a green technology and clean technology that by producing CBM, environment is not affected. That is the main advantage. And even government of India also uh, encouraging this policy of clean technology like coal gasification, coal to chemical, coal bed methane, and so even some discounts and subsidies are announced by the government of India for going for these clean coal technologies. And this ECL identified 57 square kilometers of area, and we are already on the job. And by this year ending, we are going to get that complete project report. Then we will identify the coal bed methane developer and operator. Then we completely give it under GO concept, and ECL will provide this water and land, power, and rest of the things will be taken care by the uh, operator that under GO concept. So the profit definitely we are going to get 14% IRR, and initially we'll be getting about 1.5 lakh cubic meters of CBM, and per cubic meter, as per calculations, it will come in crores, but exactly what would be the profitability and all not yet worked out. Definitely it is profitable. More than that, it is environmental friendly. It is not going to pollute any of the environment. That is the main advantage we have, and that directly can be used by the consumers, like in the for cooking purpose, for chemicals, and other things. Yeah,
Understood, understood, sir. Uh,
yeah.
so the next question is, are there sufficient coal reserves available with ECL to raise its production substantially? And is the long-term output plan in line with CIL's target of achieving 1 billion ton coal production, sir?
Yeah, actually, the Coal India's target is to produce 1 billion ton by 2023 and 24, and the ECL is having 50 billion tons of reserves lying in both the states, Jharkhand and West Bengal. So we have huge reserve base, and about 15 billion tons are extractable. Now presently we are producing about 50 million tons, And by the time 23-24, we'll be able to produce about 85 million tons to achieve that 1 billion ton by Coal India. Then our reserves are sufficient for another 150 years. So we have huge reserve base. Fortunately, ECL is blessed with very good quality coal reserves, particularly in Raniganj coal fields. It is about 22 billion tons of high grade coal. So that is very advantageous to ECL. So we have huge reserves and planning to produce 85 million tons in next 2 to 3 years as a part of this 1 billion ton mission of Coal India that we are going to do it.
So now we move on to the next set of questions. Now these are related to dispatch and sales. The first question is, ECL has garnered healthy responses in spot auctions by fetching adequate premiums and better sales percentages. Now, this was at a time when other CIL subsidiaries have struggled to do so. So, is there any specific strategy which is adopted by ECL to enhance sales through these auctions? So,
Yeah, actually, we have taken so many steps, and the main advantage is that ECL coal is very good grade coal. So customers like this good grade coal, and we have conducted number of these things. The brainstorming session also we have conducted internally, and we have taken feedback from customers. We have directly interacted with customers virtually, and we are taking lot of measures on quality because some complaints are there from customers that though it is a good grade coal, lot of grade slippage is there. That is a complaint from customers. To avoid that grade slippage, we have conducted number of meetings with the area GMs and concerned officers, and to improve the quality, we also from headquarters making frequent visits to field and sidings to ensure that quality is maintained, and also taking feedback from the customers, particularly that Raniganj coalfield. It is a unique quality of coal that here volatile matter is very high, that is about 30%. This volatile matter is high volatile matter is very useful for powerhouses where with high volatile matter they can reduce the consumption of diesel and all. That is more beneficial to the power customers. And it is long flame, high volatile matter, less ash content, less moisture content. So these are the required properties for any customer. So that coal we are having, and that is the reason customers are preferring our coal. And in addition to that, we are finding the are taking the feedback from customers, and accordingly we are working to them. We are trying to address their complaints and problems. So probably these are the reasons for getting more response, particularly under auction, than remaining subsidiaries.
so the next question is, has there been any increase of customer linkages under fuel supply agreements? And what is the percentage share of such customers lifting coal under this provision?
No, actually, the Coal India or Government of India recently they have given a circular that because the coal linkages, the powerhouse located at West Bengal or near Durgapur, they are taking coal from MCL, which is about 500 kilometers more distance away and all. So then they have given an opportunity to rationalize the linkages that they can opt the coal uh, from the nearest coal producing company. So that way, ECL is going to get few more customers or few more coal demand from customers. They are opting to take coal from ECL instead of far off places like now DVC and even WPDCL powerhouses also they are taking some coal from CCL and other companies, and now they want to take coal from ECL. That way, we are going to increase the coal supply about 3 to 4 millions to the power customers. Earlier, the linkage was with other subsidiaries. Yeah.
So now it has been observed that the power sector is the major customer of ECL. But given that most of the power plants are presently equipped with sufficient coal stocks, is the company currently facing hindrance in dispatches due to the same, sir?
Yeah, definitely we are facing problem with dispatch that at powerhouses, as on date, about 45 million tons of coal stock is available. In ECL also, we have about 3.2 million tons of stock. That is the highest ever stock in last 10 years. So powerhouses, they are not taking the coal completely because the power generation is less and they are not consuming much coal. About 20% reduction is there in the when you compare with the normal period. And in the last 2 months, we have dispatched about 8 million or so. In 1920, in the same period, we have dispatched 11 million tons. So there is a reduction of about 20% coal dispatch due to this subdued demand or COVID or lockdown, whatever it is. So now gradually the power generation is picking up and our dispatch is also improving slightly. Yeah. Hope
Right.
that in a month or so we will get the normalcy in dispatch to the powerhouses. Yeah.
Hopefully, sir. Yes. So, what is the Indian power demand outlook in the near term, considering that the monsoon is here, as well as if you can brief about the power demand outlook during the remainder of the fiscal year? That's this fiscal year, sir.
No, it is a common phenomena that during rainy season, the power demand will come down and their consumption will come down. At the same time, even mines also, because we get most of the coal from open cast mines, about 90% of coal India coal production comes from open cast mines. During rainy season, that production gets affected. So the production from mines will be reduced and also the consumption at powerhouses also come down. And whatever extra coal is produced, that will be stocked at mines and that will be kept ready for the remaining period. So overall, it will be same as the previous year, or it is a common phenomena that during rainy season, production and uh, coal consumption by the powerhouses will come down. And once that rainy season is over, it will pick up production and consumption will pick up. So there should not be any problem for producing our 55 million tons for this year. Uh, we can produce and dispatch. Yeah.
Right, sir. So now, what actions are being taken to invoke coal consumers from the non-power sector? And these are efforts which are towards the import substitution drive, which has been initiated by CIL. So,
Yeah, actually, the government policy is this year we have to substitute 100 million tons of imported coal. And as a part of that, ECL is given 50 million tons target in this year. And already we have linkage for 4.5 million tons with coastal powerhouses for import substitution. And recently we got two more customers that one from Andhra and another from Punjab. So it we already we have linkage of about 6 to 7 million tons, and we have written letters to all NRS who are importing coal and directly talking to them by mails and by phone to take our coal because ECL is the best answer for import substitution. The reason is that we have very good coal. Even any company import coal for one reason that generally they import about 25 to 30% and remaining coal they will take indigenous coal. So this 30% good quality coal will be blended with indigenous 70% coal. Then they'll use it, and that way that becomes the viable. So now ECL is having good coal, which can definitely replace the imported coal, G4 and G5 good grade coal. So that way ECL is having edge over other companies, and we are in touch with customers, and it is a big exercise, and this a lot needs to be done to interact with NRS customers and to explain about our coal and to convince them and to address their complaints of quality and all. We are committed for quality and uh, supply coal as much as possible as a import substitution. Yeah, yeah.
right, sir. So, sir, these are the positive points for gaining clientele from the non-power sector. But now, are there any bottlenecks or hindrances which the company is facing while building new customers from the non-power sector? Now, this is despite availability of premium quality coal, sir.
No, actually, till last year there was a lot of demand and we were dispatching coal. There was no issue as far as marketing is concerned. This marketing problems and all have cropped up because of this COVID and stocks accumulation and less demand in powerhouses. So then now in this year it has become more problem and so then we started talking to customers. The customers' general complaint is that the quality is not maintained. There is a slippage of paid and all. They are paying for high grade coal, but they are getting lower grade coal. So that is the genuine complaint, and we are taking it seriously. And now we are sure that whatever grade declared grade is that can be ensured from ECL. And whatever problem is there from customer side. And in fact, we have sent a team to different industries located near to ECL to take the feedback from them. What type of coal they want, what size of coal they want, and what properties they want. And if there is any problem, we want to know and we want to address those problems by interacting with customers. And definitely, we are confident that the ECL coal will be taken by customers, and whatever expectations are there on ECL coal, that will be fulfilled. Yeah.
Right. So the next set of questions is related to product quality. Now you have already mentioned that ECL is having higher GCV bandwidth coal grades. You have mentioned the coal grades G4 and G5. Now pretty obviously ECL has an upper hand in terms of quality among other CIL subsidiaries. Can you please state the grade-wise share of production volume which is being mined annually, sir?
Yeah, actually now this year we're planning to produce 55 million tons. Out of that, about 25 million tons is G3, G4, G5 grade, that is high grade coal. That comes to about 45% to 50% of the total production plant. And remaining the coal produced in Jharkhand state, that is from G8 to G13, that also comes to about 50 to 55%. And ECL produces coal from G3 to G13 grade. So all grade coal we produce, but mostly G3, G4, G5 is about 45% of the total coal.
So, sir, next question is, are there any specific parameters which differentiate ECL's coal quality from the rest of the lot? And please tell us about the various quality control measures which are implemented to ensure delivery of standard product to consumers.
Yeah, now our coal ECL coal is available in three fields. That is in Mugma area, that is near to BCCL, where coal is having very less moisture content and high carbon content and high ash content also. And Rajmahal, that is also again in Jharkhand, there it is low grade coal, G13. And in Raniganj coal field, it is high grade coal, G3 to G5. And ash content is about 20%, and volatile matter is 30%. Moisture is also about 7 to 8%. These are the actually desirable parameters of any coal. So about 25 million tons, that is almost all 45% of our plant production is having those qualities, that is superior grade coal. And generally this Jama coal or low moisture content coal that is preferred by limestone quarries, limestone customers. Like that, the low grade coal is preferred by some of the power customers. That power customers they want low grade to ensure that their power generation cost is less. So nowadays, marketing high grade coal is very difficult. Because that powerhouses they don't want to take. If the once they take high grade coal, then that generation cost will be higher. So that is the reason they are preferring low grade coal. So this high grade coal mostly it is consumed by this cement customers and limestone customers, sponge iron customers, steel customers, and miscellaneous other industries. So we have all kinds of coal available in ECL. Yeah. And also to improve the quality, yes, as I said earlier, we have taken a number of steps. We know that now market is open. Now commercial mining is also launched yesterday. and a lot of coal is going to be available with commercial mining in the open market. Then lot of competition is there for even Coal India and ECL. Unless we maintain quality, there is no future for any company. We have to produce coal at a competitive price with good quality and required sizing. Then only we can sustain in the market or somebody will take our coal. We know that the importance of this thing, and we are taking every step to improve the quality, particularly to bring awareness among the workmen, officers, technicians at the grassroots level. We're conducting meetings and communicating them. And unless these things are improved, particularly quality is improved, then there is no future for ECL or any other company in the future competition. Particularly in next 2 to 3 years, we will face a lot of competition with other competitors, other coal companies and coal suppliers. So now we are preparing ourselves for future competition. That's one thing. And even for import substitution also, we have to maintain quality. And ECL, the advantage is that this is located near to Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, Bhutan, where they are importing coal from Indonesia. That Indonesia is located 2,000 kilometers away from those countries, whereas ECL is just 250 kilometers from Bangladesh. Our Haldia port is about 250 kilometers from Pulna port of Bangladesh. So we can supply coal at much cheaper price with good quality. Then those countries will import coal from India. So keeping all these factors in the view, the only requirement is that maintaining quality, and we are on the job, and we are sure that we can ensure the quality, whatever quality is declared. Yeah.
All right, sir. So, are there any developments regarding setting up of coal washeries and facilities for crushing and coal handling, sir?
No, already we have facilities for coal crushing that is below 200 mm, below 100 mm also. But washery, so far we don't have anything in ECL, but in future, particularly one area, SP mines area, where in the working section shale band is there, which cannot be separated during mining process. There we are thinking of setting up a deshaling plant, and for exporting and also for import substitution, uh, quality need to be ensured at any cost. So initially we are planning to install this deshelling plant in one of the areas. Then after seeing the performance of that, we may go for a few more these deshelling plants or washing of the coal for maintaining the quality. Yes, yeah.
Right, sir. So, sir, next we come with the miscellaneous questions. The first question is, if you can please brief us about the capital expenditure budget, which is sanctioned for FY21, and has the ongoing pandemic caused any impediment in the progress of new development projects, sir?
Yeah, actually the budget given for 2020-21 is 1150 crores. So we have so many projects, ongoing projects like first mile connectivity projects like construction of CHP at Sonpur Bajari, construction of CHP at Rajmahal, construction of CHP at the Ganjara area. So many road constructions, and all these things are hampered due to this COVID, because the workmen are not available, material is not available. So for last 3 months, all works got affected because of this lockdown and non-availability of manpower and material. So now it is gradually normalcy is being restored, and uh, normalcy. I think shortly we can take up all those works. Yeah.
Right, sir. So, Mr. Reddy, the last question from my end before we start addressing questions from the audiences. Now, it goes as what steps would be taken to ensure closure of unsafe mines, and will it adversely affect ECL's competitiveness in the coal mining sector? So,
Actually, as such, we don't have any unsafe mines. That all 50 underground mines they are safe only. Only thing, because they are all old mines and more than 100 years old, they are unviable because at that time they have sunk the shafts and they have installed steam winders. So now in those mines we cannot increase the production to the required level because of this transport constraints or bottlenecks through this steam winders in the shafts and all. So now what we are doing now, wherever good resources are available, we are planning to drive inclines and drifts from the surface. And by introducing mass production technologies, we are trying to maximize the production. And wherever it is not possible, we are counseling the workmen and trying to close the mines. That way, we have closed few mines, and all that manpower will be shifted to productive mines. So that way, we want to reduce the loss-making mines and also maximize the production by introducing mass production technologies and driving the inclines and all by laying the belt conveyors for transport of coal. These steps we are taking. As such, there is no unsafe mines in ECL. It is only unviable mines where loss is being incurred. Yeah.
Right, sir. So, sir, let us start with the audience questions is now. The first question I would like to take up is from Mr. Shraddha Saraugi. Now, he's saying, considering the profitability aspect, underground mining is less profitable than open cast mining. In case of low coal demand, which mine is expected to take the first hit, sir?
Now, actually, that we are over exploiting the open cast mine. If you see the proved reserves, depth-wise and all, 80% of the reserves are suitable for underground mine, 20% of the reserves are suitable for open cast mine. But we are doing 90%, we are getting 90% coal production from 20% proved reserves, and we are getting 10% from 90% proved reserves. So there is a mismatch basically. And also that open cast mine you can do to some extent that economic stripping ratio. Beyond that, you have to go for underground mining. And also underground mine, if you look at other countries like Australia, where all the underground mines are profitable, even they get more profit from underground mines than open cast mines. And underground mines are more environmental friendly than open cast mines. And because here underground mines are unviable because we have not introduced the mass production technologies, and still we are dependent on more employment where productivity is very less. And if you see the example of Janjara, there we produced last year 3.5 million tons. And there the profit last year was 200 crores. That is on par with open cast mines and even more than some of the open cast mines. So we are incurring losses because of no mass production technology, more manpower, and not much stress is given on underground mines because we are meeting the requirement with open cast mining. And that is the reason open cast underground mines are now presently unviable. But definitely, if you take certain steps like going for the mass production technologies and planning more production and reducing manpower, and if you take all these steps, definitely underground mines will become more viable, where you can maintain quality also. So we need to go for underground mining depending upon the life of the coal. And now it is predicted that another 20 to 30 years, coal is going to be there in the market, Indian market. So we need to go for underground mining with mass production technology also, in addition to open cast mines. Yeah.
Right, sir. So, sir, another question asks, if you can please share some insight comparing the landed price of imported non-coking coal versus open cast mine coal and underground coal, sir.
Now, okay, this underground coal, whatever may be the cost of production, now if you see at ECL, the cost of production of underground coal is coming to about 6,000 rupees. And open cast coal, it is about 1,500 rupees. And but the selling price is same, whether it is the cost of production 6,000 or 1,500, the selling price, when you sell it to customers, now it is as per grade. Nothing to do with cost of production because we are spending more money on underground coal now we are not selling it for 6,000 rupees. Even you spend 6,000 rupees to get 1 ton of coal, your selling price of G4 coal is 3,000 rupees only. Whether it is from open cast mine or underground mine, the selling price of G4 grade coal is 3,000. So it is, if you take that coal from underground, you are incurring a loss of 3,000 rupees per ton by the company. If you take that coal from open cast mine, you are getting a profit. So if it is imported coal, then if you are importing from Indonesia, then G4 equivalent grade per ton in landing cost is coming to about 5,800 rupees to 6,000 rupees. That is almost all even cheaper than Indian coal. That imported coal is almost all equal or slightly cheaper than indigenous coal. To take one customer, so for example, the southern power stations, they are importing coal from Indonesia. That power stations located in Tamil Nadu, they are getting coal from Indonesia, and their landed cost is coming to about 6,000 rupees. If they take the coal from ECL, the landed cost is coming to 7,000 rupees per ton. If they take coal from MCL, the landed cost is coming to about again 5,000 rupees or so, because they are at lesser distance there when compared with ECL from the power stations.
Right.
So now to make it more competitive with imported coal, I think even government of India also thinking to rationalize the cost of the railway freight, and they are developing the waterways and all. So government of India is also taking so many measures to supply the coal at a competitive price, and also completely substitute the imported coal with indigenous coal by reducing the transport cost and all.
Right, sir. So in this context, if
Yes,
you
Mr. Radhicha. Yeah.
right, sir. So in this context, if you can also brief us about the average cost of mining coal, both underground and open cast, sir. The average cost.
That's what now in underground ECL may average cost of production is coming to about 6,000 rupees per ton. Irrespective of grade, whether G13 or G3, the process involved is same. For getting 1 ton of coal, we have to spend 6,000 rupees from underground mines, and about 1,500 rupees from open cast mines.
So, sir, the next question is from Mr. Gaurav Rateria. Now, he's asking, how would recent regulations around swapping and rationalization of linkages be useful in substituting imports with domestic production?
Yeah, definitely that is useful, that rationalization of linkages, and also now recently the APPDCL from Andhra, they were importing coal from Indonesia. Then they stopped importing and they want to take coal from ECL. In the similar way, Nabha power plant from Punjab, they were importing coal and they want to take coal from ECL. A similar way, some more customers are coming forward, that L&T Ambuja Cement, they also want to take coal from ECL. So most of the imported customers, they want to take coal from ECL, and they are taking the advantage of even rationalization of linkages and flexibility of these linkages and all, keeping the distance and all in the view.
So another question, as the dispatches have been affected by 20%, which you have mentioned during the current times, has ECL curtailed coal production from any of its mines?
No, actually, we have reduced the coal production to some extent, and we have diverted the machines from coal benches to the OB benches. That we have increased the overburden removal. That in open cast method, that first we have to remove the OB, then coal will be exposed. Then only you will be able to take the coal out. So we have diverted most of the machinery for removal of OB, so that once demand normalizes, that increases, then we can take out the more coal to meet the requirement of demand. So that way, we have reduced the coal to some extent, and we have increased the removal of OB to that extent to take the advantage of a future requirement.
So the next question is from Mr. Nirmalya Dev from our company itself. Now he's asking capacity enhancement is to be at the level of 80 to 85 million tons. So are the new mines being commissioned, sir?
Yeah, now some new projects are in pipeline, and we have coal blocks, new coal blocks, particularly in Deoghar district. Brahmani, one block is there, and another coal block in Godda district, that is in Jharkhand. There, Shimlang and Supervita, we have new coal blocks and we are going to start them. And probably in the next 3 to 4 years, they will be operationalized and we'll get about 15 to 20 million tons of coal from those mines. Yeah.
Right, sir. So the next question is in the context of commercial coal mining, sir. So as I was saying, sir, the next question in the context of commercial coal mining. So, sir, how much time will it likely take for production to begin at this newly auctioned coal mining blocks, sir?
Actually, yesterday the coal minister was telling that even few mines can be made operationalized within a year. And some mines, it all depends. Out of 41 blocks, within a 1 year, some of the mines are going to produce coal. So they have given the details, and probably by next 3 to 4 years, all the 41 blocks will come into operation, and they are expected to produce about 200 million tons of coal in next 3 to 4 years.
So I was asking, Mr. Aditya Raj from our company is asking, like, how much time duration will it take to make coal in commercial mining successful?
Yeah, in next 3 to 4 years, I think they will produce coal to the extent of 200 million tons of coal, and that will be available in the market. And particularly, that is spread out in 5 states. Most of the coal commercial mining is from Madhya Pradesh. So, next 3 to 4 years, all the coal will be available.
Okay, so Mr. Abhinav Sengupta is asking, how many coal blocks are to be outsourced through the MDO, that's the mine development route in ECL, sir?
I think now about 5 to 6 closed mines are abandoned mines, underground mines where huge geological deposits are there. They were offered under MDO concept, particularly two mines in Mugma, that Gopinathpur, and also in Raniganj, a few mines, Chinapuri one mine, and there are some more mines. Uh, they are the basically closed mines, and but huge geological reserves are available.
Right, sir. So last few questions. This one is asking, how do you see FSAs of CIL to shape up with the advent of commercial coal blocks?
Yeah, actually, that yeah, now we have to face some competition so that efficiency will be improved, and finally everybody gets benefited. That if we are not competent, we are not efficient, definitely customer will choose best coal at lowest price. Wherever it is available, they go for it. So if Coal India is not able to supply coal at a competitive price with good quality, we cannot retain our customers. So the main purpose of commercial mining and all these things to increase the efficiency. So to survive, we have to increase our efficiency, work standards, and customer satisfaction. We need to take care of all these things. Then only we will remain in the market, or we can customers will take our call.
So a very different type of a question from Mr. Abhishek Dukania. He's the president of Hardcoke Association. Now he's asking, will ECL explore coking coal mines in Mugma area, especially Shampur A basin, as our member units are ready buyers for coking coal, he say.
Yeah, he is from that area, so he is going into details. Okay, take care.
Yes, sir.
Now, that Shampur proposal is there. There is about 10 million tons of coal suitable for open cast mining, washing grade coal, that is coking coal. So that proposal is under preparation, and that will be approved shortly. And probably in a year or two, we are going to start that Shampur mine, open cast mine.
So another question from Mr. Pradeep Dey. Now he's asking, what is the latest sales policy for making high grade coal available for sponge iron producers other than linkages? And is there any policy on spot sale?
Now we are offering that exclusive e-auction, where they can take the coal or for maybe longer period of 1 year, up to 1 year. there, I think they can take the required coal under exclusive action. Now, ECL is also offering. We started recently, and on 26th of this month, there is a exclusive e-auction for about 5.5 lakh tons of coal we are offering in that. Whoever is interested, definitely they can participate in that. Yeah.
So a question from Mr. Abdul Sayyed Khan. So he's saying that is there any demand increase which is being observed by ECL now that the neighborhood Coal India subsidiary NECL has temporarily stopped operations?
Yeah, now because they stopped very recently, now probably, yeah, we may expect some demand of ECL coal, that some of the customers from there, they may be shipped to ECL. But we have not yet felt that. Probably in this month or next month, they may come to us, and then we'll be able to assess exactly what is the impact of closure of NECL mines.
Right, sir. So we are unfortunately running out of time here. So I can take a last question. Now, what are the steps being taken to hasten environment clearances for newly commissioned coal mines?
Yeah, actually now the reviews are conducted at ministry level and Coal India level, and because to produce 1 billion ton by 2023-24, a lot of advanced actions are being taken. That already it has been finalized the requirement of ECs, FCs, and they are being submitted to government agencies. They are all under different stages, and because government is after it, and everything is processed very quickly, and I think as per the targets fixed, these things will be cleared as per schedules, and we are not expecting any problem in getting ECs and FCs, because this ministry is closely monitoring the new projects and its progress.
Right, sir. So I'll just take this last question from Mr. Rajesh Lachhani, HSBC Securities. What measures are ECL taking to reduce carbon footprints? Now, he has mentioned on the ESG front. I'm not aware of the abbreviation, so sir. He's asking about the carbon footprint reduction.
Okay, now to reduce the carbon footprints or whatever it is, to go for clean coal technology, that earlier I told you that we are going for coal bed methane and also coal gasification, surface coal gasification and underground coal gasification. So these are all in advanced stage, and probably next 3 to 4 years we are going to start those projects. And the ECL, because where ash content is very less and carbon content is more, they are more suitable for coal gasification also. Even coal to chemical like methanol and other chemical products also. So these are the technologies. They are environmental friendly, and where the carbon footprints will be very less and all. And also increasing the underground production also helps in this. That these are all environmental friendly technologies. So we are going for that. Yeah.
Right, sir. But sir, unfortunately, we have run out of time out here. So I can still see some more questions lined up. So we'll just have to read through them, and sir, the ones which have not been covered, we'll just send it to you if you'll be kind enough to answer them via email.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Sure.
Right, sir. So we'll also be putting these answers on the Steelment and Coalment websites, as well the mobile applications. So with that, I would like to conclude. And Mr. Reddy, thank you very much for your time. And I would like to wish you all the very best from our entire team of Steelment to you and the ECL family.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to thank Sri Prem Sagar Mishra for giving us this opportunity to interact with Mr. Reddy and gain valuable insights on ECL. I would also like to thank all our participants for joining us today and for helping to make this session a rich and insightful experience. Thank you.